timer for a certain period of time, and you write, and you can repeat. You don't have to worry about grammar or spelling. The trick is to write quickly without stopping, because that helps break through the surface and break through your conscious mind and get into the subconscious and unconscious minds. And so today we're going to do a sort of a variation on that. Instead of doing 100, we're going to do a shorter list. And I'm just going to share my screen again. So here's some list ideas. And feel free to jot any of these down if they look interesting. We're not, if you were to do 100, these are 100 things that I got from the book, which I really like. Does anyone want to read it out loud from the screen? Trish, thank you. You're okay.
Sure. Happy to. 100 things I need or want to do. 100 things I'm grateful for. 100 things I've accomplished. 100 things I want in a relationship. 100 things I could do if I had the time. And 100 things I miss.
Thank you, Trish. So these are some great ideas to try on your own. If any of these appeal to you, feel free to jot them down. And today we're going to try a list that is a little bit differently, because it's not going to be 100 things. Just to kind of warm you up to gearing up to 100 things eventually. So how you do the list in journaling, and don't take notes. I will walk you through each step, but I'm just going to give you an overview really quickly before I do that. You can set your timer, and I recommend a minimum of 5 minutes. And then from the topic that you choose, you write as many entries as items as quickly as possible without stopping, and you can repeat. Just write what the first thing that comes to your mind. And when the timer is up, stop, reread your list, and look through it and look for categories or themes in your list. And then you can identify each theme with a letter or an abbreviation, or sometimes I like to take colored pens and pencils and identify them with colors. Then you tally your themes, and then you write like a 5-minute sprint, which is essentially setting the timer for 5 minutes, sitting down and writing what came up for you during this exercise. Were there any surprises? Did anything catch your curiosity? So that's a way that you do your lists with this exercise. So I'm going to show you an example. So here's a partial list of mine. I didn't want to give you too much of a list, because then you wouldn't be able to see it. So I have just 12 items here, which is a very short list. And here's some list of goals of mine for the summer. Giving myself some free time, indulging in self-care, visiting the beach, spending time with my daughter home from college, etc. And then what I did, as I mentioned earlier, you go through your list when you're done and you find categories or themes, and you choose letters or abbreviations, which is what I did here. And you can see my tally on the right. Self for S is self, O for outdoors, F for family. And if I were to write a reflection, I'd probably reflect on the fact that I have a lot of stuff for family and organization, and not as much for social and outdoors, which is typically what I would like to indulge in the summer. So it makes me think, where's my head at right now? Maybe I'm sort of feeling disorganized, and I want to sort of, reflect inward right now with family. So I would set the timer, write about it, and see what I was thinking about. And for me, I was actually surprised to see that I had very little social in my tally categories. So that's how that list worked for me. And before I lead you in this exercise with you, does anyone have any questions? Okay, great. So we're going to try the summer goals idea, because summer is just around the corner. We just got an email today that that the beach, the sailing beach is opening up this weekend. I'm so excited. So I'm in the summer spirit. And I thought we could start today with a list of goals. I'm going to set the timer for 7 minutes, and you're going to see how many some items you can list. And please remember to number. I forgot to mention that it's very important to number um, your list. And just a quick tip, as part of your daily practice, if you like lists, you can list your accomplishments at the end of each day, and your daily goals at the beginning of each morning. So that's just something you can try on your own. So is everybody ready if I start the timer? Alrighty, it's going. I'll let you know when it's time to wrap up. You had you have about 3 to 4 minutes left. Yeah. Okay, start wrapping up your list. Maybe add another item or two, whatever's on your mind. And then reread your list, and I'll give you a couple minutes to go through it and look for categories and label them and start your tallies. Sure.
Can you talk about the categories again? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the screen.
Thanks.
Here we go. I have to share 1 minute. Not showing up. Technical difficulties. I'm looking for the
Oh, you're looking for it. Okay.
for it's not coming up on the shared screen. Maybe if I do the desktop.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. So can you all see it okay?
Yes.
Great. And then when you're done with your categories and tallies, you can look up or wiggle your fingers or something. It's very quiet. Okay, and take another minute or so, and then I'm gonna give a few minutes to write any insights or anything you became aware of from your list. I'll start the clock in another minute. And if you're done, you could start writing now. Okay, and if you haven't started writing, I'm going to invite you to start now, and I'm going to set the clock for a few minutes. I'll let you know when it's time to stop.
And this is writing insights.
Yes, writing any insights or curiosities or anything you became aware of from your list. Okay, take another minute or so to finish your thoughts. Okay, so for those of you who are finished, how did that go? Were there any surprises for anybody?
Not surprising.
No?
But interesting.
What was interesting?
That mostly I just want to have fun. Right?
I like your list.
Sorry, Melinda, I could not hear that person speaking.
And it was like, some of them were sensory and fun, but most all of them were fun.
I like that.
But that's
Could you repeat that? Somebody with a mic, could somebody repeat that? 'Cause it's
Oh,
hard to hear.
so it's Meg, right?
Yes.
Meg said hers was interesting because it was mostly fun. That was mostly her category. That was in her list. So thank you for sharing that. I would be curious to see what would happen if you wrote a whole list of 100 and saw if there were any surprises if you got that far.
A whole list of what?
100 items.
Oh, yes.
Because then you start to get past what's really on your conscious mind.
Yes.
And so try it at home.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Yes, Peggy?
A couple of things, but the one when you said try and go to 100, I ran out of ideas at 17, so I'd be in trouble if I had to do 100.
Well,
Got two, Peggy.
it takes practice that you could you could repeat if you can't think of
Oh,
something,
okay.
and then maybe it might generate another idea from your.
Well, and it was weird because the thing that I noticed is I was writing down a lot of the things that were on your list, and I don't know if we're just very similar or if I was just copying. but and then I was kind of writing with the filter that like, oh, what if she makes us share our list? And, I was only putting down stuff I'd be willing to share, so then, and then I was like, well, no, I don't have to share everything, and so then I started kind of doing more, but.
Okay. Yeah, no, don't feel like you have to do anything. It's not required to share. So I won't force you to share. I'm too nice, but thank you, Peggy. Trish, how did this go for you? You're a veteran list writer.
Yeah, I only got to about 22. But I noticed so much of mine, the theme that came out strong was a lot about self-care this summer. And I feel like it was more than a lot of the things that I would do for family. It was more about escapism and self-care things. And I think it's just having come through this whole long year.
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone feels the same way, but the kind of relief to get out there, but also the need for change and the need to travel and the need for replenishing in that way is just so much stronger this year. So that came out big time in my list.
And I bet if you wrote your list last summer, it would have looked completely different.
Yeah.
Your goals for last summer.
Yeah. I was going to say the same as Trish. I feel like if I had done this 2 years ago, it would have been so much more about not the focus on me, right? So my list is all about, for me in the summer, it's all about just being outside and being at the beach and running and yoga and paddle boarding, and like everything that was coming out was things that I realized that I want to do myself. And then also, barbecues and seeing friends and being outside with family and camping, but everything is outside, everything on the list.
Get out. You both bring up good points, because a lot of these exercises you can do, as Trish can attest to, you could essentially do these all the time, every day, and come up with something different. So that's what's pretty fun about it too. So thank you. Maybe just one more how it went, and then we'll move on. Anyone else want to share anything?
I can share.
Oh, sure. Melinda?
Okay, I'm trying to avoid the feedback. Mine was not surprising at all. And a lot of it had to do with outside, of course, being outside and taking advantage of everything our beautiful community has to offer. Doing more things with my kids outside, simple things, bike rides, dog walks, not being so planned out and being more in the moment. Even though we've had so much time during lockdown to really spend time with family, I don't feel like I've spent as much quality time as I could have, because things were just so up and down. And I found that our family was just kind of going back, like not isolating, but going to each of our corners a lot more than we normally would had we been out and more active and doing things. So I just want to be more in the moment and say yes more to them and go out and do stuff.
Nice. I like that. I think that's probably why I wrote so many family items on my short list too. You'd think we'd be sick of them by now, but I think you bring up a good point. It's about how you're spending your time with them. So
Meaningful time.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Well, thank you for trying that, and try some of those ideas I posted earlier. Here, I'll go back to that so you can see. If you're interested, those are always fun to try on your own and see what happens with 100. You're gonna have to set your timer for probably 10 to 15 minutes at least. So play around with it. Okay, well, thank you for trying that. I want to jump into the next exercise so we can get in hopefully a couple more. The next is a captured moment. And this is a great exercise I like to introduce during these times right now, because it's a great way of capturing a memory and preserving it for the future. And we have been in unique times the last year and a half or so. Is it that long already? At least a year more. Maybe it's a little over a year. So what it is, it's like a snapshot in a photo album, and you freeze a moment in time in your journal to preserve that memory for the future. And you could write about happy memories or sad memories. I like to write about the happy ones, because think about what you'd like to save in a photo album, like the same idea. But sometimes it could be cathartic to write about a sad event that happened as well. And with a captured moment, what's so great about these is you write them. They could be very small, maybe just a couple of paragraphs, and you can be creative. Maybe you want to write a brief poem. And you write these by tuning into the senses. You try to tune into your sight, sound, smell, taste, touch, and that will help you step into the memory and relive it. And so one thing I learned from just teaching this so much, and Trish might even have been in this workshop, some people have suggested to me, well, a good way to think about a memory to write about is to look to see what's in your phone. Like look at your photos, and maybe there's something that can trigger your mind about what you want to write about. So I did this. This was a photo I found last summer, and from my phone. And I'll read you my captured moment just to give you an idea of what a captured moment is like. And I dated it because my phone dates my photos. I'm sure yours does too. So July 30th, 2020, that's when this photo was taken. The sun was setting. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay. And cicadas were buzzing as John and I ventured out for a summer evening walk. I rolled down my sleeves as the cool lake breeze tickled my body. We approached the middle entrance to Gilson, and I saw a Park District green gator heading toward us. My lab, Nellie, pulled me forward with her leash as she lunged toward the vehicle. My heart leapt with excitement as we got close enough to see the two figures inside it, the Annas. Our then 19-year-old daughter, Anna F., was behind the wheel wearing shorts, a sweatshirt, and a blue medical mask over her face. Anna C., Anna's friend since third grade, and her coworker at the Wilmette Public Beach, was comfortably stretched out next to her with her feet up against the dashboard. She wore jeans rolled up to her ankles, a sweatshirt, and a blue mask. I could tell by the upward turn of the Anna's eyes that they were smiling. Hi, we shouted to each other enthusiastically. My Anna pulled over to the side of the road. As the girls told us they were enjoying a break, I swallowed hard to stifle the sob forming in my throat. The moment felt bittersweet. Anna loved the previous few summers working at the Wilmette Beach, but her mask reminded me that the year had been difficult because of the COVID pandemic. Still, I felt grateful that in the wake of uncertain times, the Annas could be together, happy and healthy. So that was my captured moment just from that photo. It just sort of poured out of me. And if you want to look for a photo of your own, you can do that. You don't have to. You could just try to think of a memory. And I'm going to guide you in an entrance meditation to help lead you into the exercise and to help you relax and focus for it. And maybe something will come into your head as I do the entrance meditation, if that's okay with you. Are you all okay with that? Okay, perfect. Okay. So everybody get comfortable. And if it feels good to do so, you may close your eyes and take a deep breath in and hold it and release it. And breathe in again. And then as you exhale, feel your body relax and let all the worries or concerns release from your mind about any concerns about your day. And picture your mind now as a blank movie screen. Let the memories float freely, one by one, until a memory comes to your mind that you'd like to write about. Allow this memory to return to the screen and stay there. Notice what you're wearing. How does it feel to be in your body? Recreate the feeling of being in this memory. Now remember the details of the scene. The colors. Listen for the sounds. Notice if there's anyone else in the scene. Recreate every detail, the smells, the textures. Allow yourself to fully experience all the sensations that you associate with this memory. And when you're ready, take a deep breath and open your eyes and begin to write your captured moment. And I'm going to set the timer for 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when it's time to wrap up. Bless you. Take another minute or so to finish your captured moment, and then maybe underline or note any curiosities or awarenesses that you came to. Okay, and start to wrap it up. How did that amount of time feel? Did that go quickly or slow?
It went quickly. I feel like I could have used a little.
Yeah.
It's a very rough draft.
Yeah, yes.
Well, 5 minutes. The reason why I chose 5 minutes, there's several reasons. One is I have to get through as many exercises as I can. The other is it's just a good technique. If you don't know how to start your writing, just set your timer for 5 minutes, and that's a good amount of time. So I'm just kind of getting you in the feel for that. And the other is, like I mentioned earlier with a captured moment, you really only have to write a couple paragraphs. It doesn't have to be an in-depth thing if you just want to write something and you don't have a lot of time. So sometimes the best things are just the shortest. You don't need many words to write it. So just something to play around with. How did this go overall?
That's good. Yeah.
Nice to remember.
It was fun to remember.
Lori's even a thumbs up.
Good.
Can people hear me through?
Here.
Can you hear us? Oh.
Peggy?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you for the meditation ahead of time, because I think there were things that I wrote down and I wouldn't have thought of if you hadn't done the meditation to start with, because I tend to write what happened or what people were feeling. But because of that, I was writing about an event at my grandson's baseball game, and it made me think about the smells, so we brought our hot chocolate, and there's a local rooster that makes noise during the games, and so like he played a role into the writing, and so I wouldn't have maybe thought about smells and sounds and textures if you hadn't brought that up.
That's a
Thank
good
you.
point. Thank you. Yeah, I like to do, as Trish knows, I use entrance meditations a lot. It depends on the exercise, but that can really help. And if you're looking for your own to try, you can look online for meditations. The book Journal to the Self has them. And sometimes it even just, lighting a candle or putting soft music on is enough to get you in the zone. So, or just maybe try writing outside. So some form of meditation that doesn't have to be traditional. So thank you, Peggy. Anyone else want to say how this went or anything you noticed? Yes, Joanne?
I just want to say that, I wrote about this. It's kind of like a series of pictures where my iPhone or my photos kind of automatically pick pictures and put them out automatically without my choosing them. And it's good. They come up with some really old things that I haven't thought about in a while or seen in a while or people, but it also mixes good memories and bad memories. Not bad memories, but you know, sad things that have happened after the picture that you're looking at. And so it's a mix of things that to deal with. And some of it is good. I don't know whether to turn this feature off or not, because it's good to see some things that you haven't thought about in a while, but it's also brings up a lot of things to deal with. And when you're just looking at them for the first time as an impression, it brings up so many different things, and you'll think, oh, I'll deal with that later, you know, or I can't deal with this right now. So what do do you go back and write about those things? How do you deal with them as they come up like that so often now?
I think if you feel the urge to write about it, then absolutely. But I think you have to be in the right mindset to tackle those harder moments. But sometimes I feel I need to get it off my chest, and it just helps me feel like maybe I'm getting closure, or lets me sort of get out the emotion. But you know, certainly if you don't feel like you're ready to do that, then I suggest not doing that. But yeah, I agree. That feature drives me crazy. Either I have a love-hate relationship with that feature on my phone. I think you can turn it off, but there's part of me that likes it so much when I like it that I keep it on. So I know what you mean. It's sort of tormenting sometimes. Thank you. Did you choose a picture for your captured moment just now, or did you?
I did, but like I said, it was one that it was a photo of like a shower that my sister had. And then it was the last time that we were all together that we weren't aware that she was sick and that she was going to die very soon afterwards. So it just is like something that just hits, and you can't forget about what happened so quickly after that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I hope it brought you some.
It was a great, it was a great day that we all had. It was
nice. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing, Joanne. Maybe you can write more on your free time about it when we're done. Thank you. Anyone else before we move on? Okay, well, thank you for trying that. Trish, did that go okay for you again?
Yeah,
I'm always curious with you, Trish, just because I know you always say you come up with different things. So I'm curious, did this?
Yeah, I was writing about, I do a lot of camping I help with a Girl Scout troop, and I've done camping and stuff with big groups, but I took my family camping last summer, the first time in a long time. And I just remember getting up before them early one morning as the mist was rising. We were camping on this vineyard place in Michigan. It was just magical. And I'd completely forgotten about it until I started. It was the immediate image. I didn't even need to look at a photo that came to mind. But, that early morning, mist rising, kind of being up, making coffee on an open fire. It's just
nice.
Was just a really lovely memory. So I then got sidetracked to start writing planning lists for this summer. Again, I went back and added to my list for the summer.
Yeah, that's always good to do also. Thank you. I like how it sounds like I think using nature is often a good thing to use with these captured moments. I really like to use nature memories. So thank you. That's a great one. Meg, do you want to share yours?
Well, I want to hear what people have as their happy moment.
Would anyone like to share?
Oh, I wasn't going to read mine. I was just going to tell you about it because it was funny, as you were saying, we were doing the meditation, I was thinking, and there was a lot going on here behind me. So I was really having trouble just trying to think of any image. And then this image of my kids popped into my head. It's a picture that's upstairs. And when they were about 2 and 4, my 4-year-old at the time was obsessed with UPS man, and we lived in LA. And so they dressed up for Halloween. He was the UPS man, and my other son was the cardboard box.
That's great.
This picture upstairs, and it's in a little frame, and they're standing there outside our house in LA. And I was writing, and the funny thing about the picture, and we didn't realize it until years later, they're standing there, they look so cute. I thought he had his arm around the other one in the cardboard box. And years later, I was looking at the picture one day. I was like, he doesn't have his arm around. He's pinching the back of the other kid's son's neck. And so the picture of the 2-year-old is like this, you know.
It's being tortured.
Like, it was just funny writing about it because I look at it every day when I go upstairs, and yeah, it was it all came back. So thank you.
That's cute. Thank you. That sounds like a fun one.
Yeah.
For sure. Anyone want to share the writing really quick?
I will.
Meg?
Should I turn the sound on here?
Perfect.
So I don't know if some people can hear me.
Oh, you know what? You're on mute.
The problem is that both of your sounds are on, right?
Oh,
If you can put yourself on mute, she's.
Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay, so this is what I wrote. I'm at the kitchen island preparing dinner and talking to my husband, Tim, about something. My shoulders hold the tensions of the day and all the worries of my mind congregate there like they're having a worry convention or something. I feel 2 arms go around me and am surprised because Tim is on the couch talking to me, so who would this be? As I glance back sideways, I see that it's my middle son, Finn, and he tightens his hug and holds me. I smile, relax, and drink in the feeling. All is well and all will be well.
Nice.
beautiful, Meg. Thank you. I felt like I was there.
I have a middle son, Finn.
You do? Well, this son of ours was adopted from Russia when he was 2, and he was so malnourished and so shut down. And now to see this little 16-year-old gymnast flourishing and all American, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. Thank you, Meg. We have time for one more sharing if anyone wants to. You don't have to.
Peggy's going to share.
Okay,
Well, I
Peggy.
didn't necessarily share. I was going to say it was interesting when you talked about how you should, make it a happy memory, but even though it can be cathartic to write about something that's troubling you. And when I was younger, I used to write about things that bothered me because I didn't usually share that with friends. I was usually, just happy and goofy. And so I would, if something was bothering me, I would write. But then one day I went to look at what my writing, and I was like, this is all too depressing. I don't even want to read this. So it was nice to get that little tip also, because as I was writing, it was like, there's certain things that are stressful or a struggle or whatever. And that kind of went like, no, let's focus on the fun and the happy. And so that was one other thing that I, focused on when I was doing my writing. So.
Oh, good. And how did that feel to do that?
It was good. It made me realize I probably complained too much.
We
I
all
should focus
do.
on the happy more.
That's funny. Well, I find, with journaling, I'm echoing, sorry about that. There's been research that shows that when you write about the good stuff, that it actually can boost not only your mood, but your immunity as well, physically. So it's a very healthy thing to do. And there's more and more research that shows that. And that's why gratitude journaling is so popular. So I suggest do that more.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you, Peggy. Okay, well, thank you all for that. We're going to try one last technique. We have a few more minutes left. And this technique is just sort of adapted from the Journal to the Self technique that's called a time capsule, which is basically, who was the one that said the 5-year journal? Was that Meg? Okay. It's basically, you could just do a daily journal like the 5-year journal where you write every day. You could write every week. It's just writing in your journal for a certain interval of time. And the benefit of that, whether you write every day, every week, every month, you track your life and just kind of track the facts of your life, what you're going through. You could put emotions too if you want. And then over time, you're going to find cycles and patterns and trends that come up. So if you do this daily, it maybe takes 2-3 months to start finding some patterns. And then you can decide what you want to keep in your life, what you want to change, what you want to throw out. So it could be very enlightening in that way. But one challenge is, how do you write every day or every week, right? Like, because, that a lot of us are struggling with that. I even do a lot. So one way is to pick a summary word for the period of time that you're writing about. So if you're writing for, let's say, the month of March, writing about that, like, so I had a goal to journal every day with COVID, and I did not at all. And there were some times that went by, like, I didn't write for a month. So I would panic, and then I would go back and think about the prior month and think of a descriptive word about that month, put that at the top of my page, and then write about that month with the theme of the word that I chose. So today I thought we could choose a word to describe our day and just do a brief journal entry about our day, choosing a summary word. And here's some words that I have: happy, fun, clarity, confusion, passion, change. Does anyone have any other ideas to describe a day, like today or any other day you'd like to write about?
Anxious.
Sunshine, Meg said. I like that.
Celebration.
Peggy, wait, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Celebration.
Celebration, that's a good one. Okay, so think of a word and put it at the top of your page, and we're going to just write about the day so far today, and always date your entries. That's really important to do, because that helps you track your cycles and your patterns and your life in general, especially if you're into like legacy writing or memoir writing, and you want to use your journal for that. Date is essential. And so date your page, pick a theme word, and I'm going to set the timer just for a few minutes and see what comes up for you today, writing about today. And I'm going to set the timer now. Take another minute or so and wrap up your thoughts. You could look up when you're finished. Now, another practice you can try for journaling is just on your calendar or your planner, if you still have one, or even on your phone calendar. For the end of your day, write like a summary word, just to kind of sum up your day. And then you can always glance back at it later and maybe write about it at a later time. Just another little tip. So, how did it go writing about the day in this way? Anyone want to share how it went or what you wrote? Anyone?
Okay, I can share.
Okay, Melinda.
A lot of you are going to laugh at me because my word is technology. I am determined to get to the bottom of this hybrid Zoom meeting. I feel like I'm almost there, but this enabled me, or I was able to get my thoughts down, different questions I can ask and research on how to pull this off seamlessly. So those are my thoughts. So it really helped me to organize them and write them down.
Great, Melinda.
Lori.
I don't think people can hear you on Zoom, but it's interesting that you bring it up because mine was patience. So patience, not being able to figure out why I can't get the tower
Right.
working the way, and patience with myself for not being able to figure it out with other patients.
Right.
Tasks that I've had today.
Was everybody able to hear Lori?
No.
Lori said that hers aligned, where are you, Lori? Aligned with mine and about the tech and just having patience with the process as well as herself to get this figured out, because I feel like we're so close. But really the only way to truly figure it out is through trial and error. So we appreciate everybody being patient and flexible. And poor Lori's here without a computer screen. But okay, so that's what Lori shared.
Thank you, Lori.
You made it work.
It was
Kind of.
It seemed to work from our end.
good. I'm glad. Okay, great. Well, before we wrap up, any final words?
Or questions?
Questions?
This is great. I hope that I will, can do it.
Great. Thank
It was
you.
actually a good work.
Mhm.
So you'll become an actual journaler, not an attempted.
Become an actual journaler.
That's very exciting.
Are you on mute, Stephanie?
I have nothing on my phone. So.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that was Stephanie. who was a repeat attempted journaler,
Yes.
who said that this is going to help her become an actual journaler, hopefully.
She thinks she can stick with this and make it work for her. How long have you been journaling, Michelle?
I mean, I started journaling when I was, as soon as I could write. I kept journals. I had a pretty tough childhood, and the journals, in fact, my father shipped me a box of stuff, mostly of old journals.
Mhm.
And I realized I had been journaling since grade school.
Wow.
And I found this program, I really liked it because I lived in Northern California for a while and took a great class on writing for healing, and it was mostly memoir writing. And the woman who taught the class actually is part of the network of Kathleen Adams, and these writing for personal growth type people. I found it. I had just I used to be a journalist, and then I got a psychology degree, and I thought this was a nice bridge of the two. And so I really like this because it gives you just more ways to journal and more productively. So I feel like it helps me the great thing about these techniques, it can help you when you're stuck. It can help you, with a relationship. It can help you with a project you're stuck on, or it could just help you just be creative and, reflect on your emotions. So that's how I journal today. It's evolved, and I also like to do memoir writing, so I keep journals for that too. So, yeah, but thank you. And if you ever, sorry, that's my information if you ever want to reach me. I live in Wilmette, and I teach around the North Shore, and love doing so. So if you ever want to get more from me, let me know.
I have. Do you ever offer ongoing workshops, class type?
And Trish can attest to this. You could do it either in 6 or 8 sessions. And it just depends on how much time you're willing to give me. I could do it in 6 sessions if it's 2-hour sessions, which sounds like a lot, but I'm telling you, it goes really quickly.
Is this one, are you talking about one-on-one or small groups?
Groups.
Okay.
So I like to get groups together.
Okay. So,
Preferably, at least 3.
okay.
So like 3 to 10 is the ideal.
So these groups would come to you as opposed to a person going to your website and seeing something that you're offering, or both?
Either way, I've
Okay.
done it both ways.
Okay.
And what's interesting too is now I have this Zoom
Mhm.
situation. So I've been giving a lot of Zoom
Yeah.
workshops. I've even tried a park. I'm not quite sure what people are ready for right
Right.
now. So I've just been a hybrid.
Mhm.
I do hybrid.
You do this, whatever this is.
So I'm just going with the flow right now. It's been interesting times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. This was very relaxing.
Thank you for trying and having me. This was awesome.
Absolutely. It took me a bit to get into my calm space. But once I did, it really helps to get your thoughts out on paper. I've always thought that, but I've never kept a diary because I'm too afraid that all the nosy people in my life would read it.
Yes.
And that is the truth, and it's so pathetic.
We have a discussion on that when I do my full workshop, because that's a very important.
It is.
And popular topic for journaling.
Right,
for sure.
right. People can't help it. They're your family, your kids, and you want to write these things down and get your thoughts out and down on paper. But it defeats the entire purpose if somebody else is then going to read them and misinterpret what you're saying or
For sure.
thinking, and they're your own thoughts.
Something to think about, but
Yeah.
there are ways to get around it.
Yeah. So,
thank you.
and just to let everybody know, and Meg and Carol, you probably don't know, and I'm going to make sure I have your info before you leave. This presentation has been recorded, and we will send a follow-up email with a link to the recorded presentation on our YouTube channel. And that way you can access all of these slides that Michelle has shared, as well as her information. on how to contact her. And if you ever have any other questions on how to contact her, you can always contact me. A lot of you have my actual personal email address, as well as activities at womensclubofwilmette.org. So lots of ways to follow up and get more information. So this was fantastic. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for joining.
It was great. All right, well, have a fantastic day, everyone. Enjoy the sunshine. All right. And
Thank
join us for our
you.
walk this Friday. We're meeting at the clubhouse between 10 and 10:30. Taking a quick walk over to Stride.
Oh, nice.
Stride. The idea is for Stride to show us what they're doing, but hey, I'll tell you after this. I don't want to steal, this is Michelle's moment, but come and take a walk, right? Come and take a walk regardless.
Yes, okay.
All right, well, thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody at home.
Have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Michelle.
Bye. Bye. Thanks, Trish.